Hey, this is Jeff. I just wanted to tell you about a guy named John Dykstra. He has a course called Niche Tycoon, and I've been following John for quite a while, and it's great to follow him because he's a practitioner. He does some teaching, and he's an excellent teacher, but the main thing he does is operate a handful of websites. I don't know how many exactly. I think he's got maybe 4 or 5 key websites, maybe a couple more now. And he publishes these earnings reports every month so you can kind of track what he's doing, where his income is coming from, and new strategies that he's trying. So I've been watching him along the way, and he has phenomenal results. Like, a recent income report of his shows $27,000 monthly income for 2 of his websites, and then he has several beyond that. So he's the real thing, and when you watch him, when you listen to him, you find out that not only is he really brilliant, but he's very disciplined about his strategies and methods. And so he's step by step, he'll take you through a strategy and he'll say, here's what you're trying to accomplish. He'll kind of narrow down the niches for you so you don't have the entire world to pick from. He's narrowing it down so you can pick from some successful niches. And then he's telling you the kind of website to build and what plugins to use and how to actually put the WordPress together and install the plugins and do that technical part of it. But then he goes into where do you get your content, how do you get it, how do you write it, all the layout, and then he's really strong at monetization as well. So as you know, I'm strong at monetization, but I still have learned some techniques from him that I just never uncovered before. So monetization, content, traffic, SEO, some paid traffic, although he's really good at free traffic, and he teaches all of that in this course that he's put together called Niche Tycoon, and it's his flagship course. It's all of his experience over the years that he's been doing this. He was actually a lawyer by training, and he started a law practice, and he needed a website, so he started building that. He outsourced some SEO, then he started learning this stuff himself, and he became so good at it that he quickly closed his law practice and started doing online operations, online websites full time. And then he just has a heart for teaching, and he's really good at communicating. And so he's kind of just blogged about his experiences, the tools he uses, the methods he uses all along the way. So I'm going to show you what the course outline is, and you'll see that on his sales page as well, but I just want to kind of walk that through with you. Just want to give you a quick introduction before we get into that, and then I'll tell you why I bought the course. And I don't know John from Adam. I mean, we've never actually met or even conversed in email or anything, but I wanted to sell this course because I personally have gotten so much value out of it. I just wanted to give you a copy of it and just expose you to him and to the course. And if you can't afford it right now, that's fine. Just make a note to come back to it. But I really recommend that you pick it up and you just dive in, because it's just a master plan for whether you're new and starting out and you just want a good strategy, somebody who can just like take you from step 1 all the way through. Or if you're like me or somewhere in between where you have a lot of experience but you really want to take things to the next level. I mean, John can do that for all of us. It's really impressive stuff. So stick with me and we'll walk through the course outline.
Here we are on the sales page, so you have access to all of this, and I'm not showing you something that you can't see yourself, but I did want to take you through this page. And starting with, we're kind of halfway down the page, and he says, updated and expanded in November 2016. He added 2 very large, very important sections, and this is one of the reasons that I bought this course, is to get access to these sections. And what I want to do is, even though you can see all this, I just want to scroll down and make a few comments here. First of all, there's 20 different sections of the course, 80 some lessons, and just a terrific amount of material, but all very, very well paced and in little chunks that you can easily consume. And in fact, I've kind of gone here and there in this course, just really looking for the things that would help me most. In fact, I started with section 18, one of his brand new sections, but then I went back and went through from the top. So, I mean, he explains the big picture for you, what he's doing, how he's going to get there. He shows you a little bit about himself, just so you understand that he's not making any of this stuff up. Almost everything that he says to my knowledge, he's actually done, and he shows examples of it, and he just demonstrates his knowledge really well. And then he goes into niche selection, and what you need to look for, some examples of niches that he recommends. In fact, a whole long list of niches that he recommends, and how to choose a domain name. Then some of the basic stuff, if you're not familiar with setting up WordPress and actually hosting, then he goes through that for you. And then the plugins that he uses, and the themes that he likes to use on his websites, and how to do all of that. So it's both a what to do and a how to do it. And if you already have a lot of experience with websites and particularly WordPress, I still recommend that you look at some of these, like this lesson 12 about the WordPress themes that he uses and why he's using them, because that information might have an effect on how you build your first site and which theme you choose to use, or actually what you may do with an existing site that you have. Then really good stuff on keyword research, because keyword research drives the contents that you're going to put on your new site, and it really, if you do it right, sets your site up for organic traffic, and not just organic, but social kinds of social network traffic later on down the line, once you have everything up and running. So this keyword, he's really big on the planning aspect. So the niche selection and then the keyword research are really important, and that drives the content, whether you create it yourself or you outsource it. He's got a really good section farther down right here on outsourcing and how you can do that for getting people for just a couple of dollars an hour to do certain parts of the business for you, like social media posting, and some good content sources as well for writing. So lots of great stuff on content. And then monetization, he's really king at monetization. He's experimented and tested many networks, and he shows you the ones that he's using to make all the money that he's making. As I said, like $30K a month plus across his several websites. So shows you how to do that. There's a service that I use called Ezoic, and he goes into how to use Ezoic as well. And then affiliate marketing, he combines ad revenue with some affiliate revenue. So that's kind of product sales via affiliates, so that he doesn't do any shipping or even drop shipping. He does affiliate stuff. So his focus is content sites that drive ad revenue and affiliate revenue, and then how to set up the site for SEO purposes, and then how to actually build some links. This isn't a course on link building per se, but this is the kind of link building that he actually uses for his sites. Some he builds links, others he doesn't, and he tells you when to do it and when not to do it, and then also plugins to use related to links. And he does a lot of work with images and then Facebook posting, and he does it in a very efficient way, where some posts are automated and others he hires out, and he gets lots of traffic from his social media posting. So he explains how he does that with Facebook, Pinterest, and others. And then he does some buying of traffic as well, and he's got a very balanced approach as to when you should buy and when you shouldn't. And there's certain kinds of methodologies where buying is critical and others where it's not. And then from his perspective, he uses traffic buying at certain parts of the life cycle for some of his websites that he may not continue down the line after they start developing organic and free traffic. And he talks about email marketing. He's really good at all of these things. And this is, you have to talk about email marketing after you get your site to a certain size, because you leave a lot of money on the table if you're not collecting email addresses and then sending a sequence to them, and that's what he does. So push notifications is kind of a newer thing, and you may have heard about it, you may not, but this is how he has begun to use push notifications to drive calls to actions like email signups and other things in his websites. What he does with video marketing, turning your website into an app, that's a good section as well. And then the new thing that he's just added in the last month, which I spent a lot of time in these 18 lessons or so in section 18, is database driven sites, where there's lots of contents. It can be images or other kinds of content, but it can be organized in really cool ways where users get a lot of value for being able to find exactly what they're looking for, or a whole bunch of entries that are similar based on searches. And I'll kind of leave you with that idea. You won't understand what I'm talking about until you see it, but he's created some brilliant looking websites, and they're very, very interactive with the users. The users just stick around a long time, and in so doing they get exposed to a lot of ads, and that just really moves up his ability to create ad revenue and engagement and page views and all of those things that make a site grow and flourish. And he talks about user generated content as well for these kinds of sites. So this is one reason that I actually bought the course. The whole course would be, I probably would have bought the whole paid the same amount for just this section, because it's something that I'm going to implement in my own business. In fact, there's at least one site that I plan to bolt this onto, and then I intend to use this for a new separate site for my business as well. So all these lessons about exactly how you do that, and he's demonstrating it the whole way with sample websites that he's installing and showing you how to set up all the plugins to make this work. And then something that he teaches that you don't find very many places is how to do a business-to-business website. And there's a lot of money to be made, because in the business-to-business space there's much less competition than the business-to-consumer space as far as websites go. And that's lucrative because businesses tend to pay quite a bit of money for software and services that they use, and they're not quite as discerning, maybe the right word, I don't know. Sometimes they are, but they're willing to fork over the bucks as long as you've established some level of credibility with them. So you don't have to do a hypey sales pitch, you just have to show some genuine quality content, and then you can sell them services that are recurring subscription. Like one thing he teaches in here is that businesses are quite happy to buy software that really helps them with their marketing or their accounting or their operations, just any number of kinds of software. And there's a lot of software that has affiliate programs, and some that even doesn't, but you can still establish a relationship with these software sales so that when a business signs up to buy a license for software that they really need, that will really help them in their business, that you will get recurring income from that. And so that's a very sticky revenue that you can generate by creating a business-to-business website. So that's just one of the approaches. That isn't the main approach. In fact, I guess I would sort of categorize it as three main approaches, this being one of them, the business-to-business, and then he talks about a business-to-consumer hybrid model. And then there's this database-driven website model that's really cool in its own right. And then there's just the typical authority website, authority content-based website, and content sites are really what I've done in most of my online career, just because the income is so passive after you get things running. So those three models, he's the master at these three. I highly recommend you buy this course. I've really enjoyed it and gotten a lot out of it, certainly all that I paid for it, and much, much more to come over the years that I'll be using this technique and continue to follow John.